Oh hey, it's Ray here. I actually wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been weighing on my mind a lot recently. You see, it's about to get a lot harder to buy a house. Now, you should know that my goal in creating this channel has always been to help other people on their personal finance journeys. And a big part of that is helping people find a path to home ownership through education on building credit and education on the mortgage process in general. I hope that by making these videos, I can make the whole home buying process a little easier, less intimidating, and less confusing for you. I want to let you know that home ownership is still possible for you. After all, there's always a way. You just have to find it. Unfortunately, even though there's always a way, it's starting to look like it's getting a lot harder for a lot of people to get a mortgage in the near future. You see, one of the most important deciding factors in your monthly mortgage payment, and ultimately how much house you can afford, is about to change, and not necessarily for the better. First, it's important to know that mortgage payments are not static. They're ever changing. Year by year, they may go up and they may go down. This is because mortgage payments are made up of a number of different variables, including your principal loan payment. This is the part of your mortgage payment that goes towards paying the remainder of the balance that you owe on your loan. PMI, also known as personal mortgage insurance. This is meant to protect your lender in case you stop making payments and default on your loan. Homeowners insurance. This is meant to protect you and your assets as well as your lender's investment if something should happen or some sort of damage would occur to your home. Property taxes. These are paid to your local municipality, your county or your city or both, and they go to general funds that contribute to things like public schools, fire departments, police stations, road maintenance, just to name a few. And most notably, mortgage interest. Mortgage interest is the extra money lenders charge you to borrow money from them. It's the cost of your loan. You have to pay money to borrow money. That's how lenders make their money while staying in business. You borrow a flat rate and they charge you an extra percentage rate on top of that as a fee. As it turns out, from the moment you start your home search to the moment you make your final payment on your home years down the road, your monthly mortgage interest rate is going to play a heavy hand in determining your monthly payment and ultimately whether you can afford to buy a home at all. When mortgage interest rates decrease, homes become more affordable and more people are able to qualify for loans. We saw this in the beginning of the pandemic when mortgage interest rates plummeted to near decade lows. When mortgage rates increase, many buyers are priced out of the market altogether and no longer qualify for loans. And I'm sorry to say this is something we're already starting to see happening right this very second. But mortgage rates don't just go up and down on their own, and lenders don't just decide on rates willy-nilly. No. Instead, mortgage rates are heavily influenced by the federal funds rate. The federal funds rate is the interest that banks charge each other to borrow or lend their reserves. When the Fed funds rate increases, we almost always see an increase in mortgage interest rates. Just about 2 weeks ago, the Federal Reserve announced that they expected to raise the federal funds rate by 25 basis points during each of their 7 committee meetings just in this year alone. Not gonna lie here. While there are pros and cons to this, hearing this announcement sent shivers down my spine. Because at the very least, that's going to leave us with 6% mortgage interest rates, if not higher. These are rates we haven't seen since I was a tween in the very early 2000s. Coupled with the absurd rise in home prices nationwide during the pandemic, it's no wonder that so many people feel so helpless. Sure enough though, after the Fed made their announcement about the rate increase, seemingly overnight, mortgage rates increased 25 basis points to 4.53%. The national average for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is sitting at 4.86% interest and edging closer to 5% every day. And it's probably not gonna stop anytime soon. So what happens from here on out? According to this article from Bankrate, there are 3 possible scenarios. Scenario number 1, just like the Fed said they would, they keep raising the Fed funds rate to battle high inflation. This would result in continually increasing mortgage interest rates. We could possibly see as high as 6 or 7% based purely on just the facts that we have right now. Scenario number 2, the economy begins to respond by the actions that the Federal Reserve took by increasing the Fed funds rate. Inflation starts to slow down and mortgage interest rates stop climbing, but instead of falling, they begin to plateau. Scenario number 3. After the Fed continually raises rates to get a handle on this super high inflation that we're experiencing right now, the economy begins to shrink and the United States is yet again living through another recession. If this were to happen, we'd all see mortgage rates fall very quickly. Now, even before I read this article, my gut was telling me that scenario number 1 is the most likely option to happen in the near future. The author of this article acknowledges that as well. They also note that we may be likely to see scenario number 3 happen in as early as 2023 after the events of scenario number 1 play out. So what does this all mean for you? Truth be told, it's not very good. High mortgage interest rates affect everybody from first-time home buyers to upsizers to downsizers to sellers. For sellers, it may mean that your home equity plateaus or potentially falls as there are less buyers competing for homes in the market. As a buyer, it may mean that you were priced out of the market that you were originally considering, and you may have to move further away than you were expecting. It may also mean that you have to purchase a smaller home than you originally planned for. And finally, it means that you may no longer even qualify for the loan that you needed. But all hope isn't lost. When things don't go to plan, we have to learn to pivot. It's how we keep going. It's how we eventually reach our goals. Look at your plan and reassess. Maybe you buy in a more affordable area that's a little bit further away. Maybe you find a source of supplemental income to help increase your down payment. A second job or a side gig. Maybe you end up buying a year later than you originally expected and end up saving more along the way. Whatever the case, make sure you do what makes sense for you. I know this can be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people, considering how these drastic changes in the economy can affect us and our dreams all on an individual level. But I've always believed in being prepared. That's how we finally get ahead. We need to always be learning what the possibilities are now so that we can get ready, get prepared, and keep carving out that pathway to our dreams. Remember, there's always a way. You just have to find it. Thank you so much for watching today. And if you liked what you saw, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. As I wrap this up here, I want to know, how do you think that the new high mortgage interest rates are going to affect you and your plans? And how do you plan to pivot to make your dreams continue to come true? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Until then, I'll see you next time.